Hey guys, Technomentary with the video for you guys. Really excited to do this video for you guys. The unboxing of the iPhone 13 Pro here. This is the Graphite Color and it's the 256 gig model here. We're going to be also comparing that with the previous generation iPhone 12. Going to show you guys the size difference and kind of the overall body difference and some of the main things that you need to know. As you see here, this is the 13 Pro in Graphite, the 256 gig. This one is $10.99 in the Apple Store if you're looking for it. And we're going to be kind of discussing some of the big features of it and then take a close look of zoom of it if you're going to be looking to buy it. We also did one for the Sierra Blue unboxing, so this is just another updated video, so you guys check out that video as well. So first thing you'll notice is the box hasn't really changed. It's that same slim box between the 12 and the 13, and that's because we'll see in right when we open it up, the content is about the same. In a way, it almost looks like a lot of the features from the 12 just carried over, and we're gonna talk about some of our disappointment as well. So that's gonna be one thing here. So let's go ahead and take a look at unboxing this. So you notice here again, the Graphite one, Apple logo here, and then the word iPhone right here, and of course, Apple logo again. So this is the US version of it. So if you have an international version, sometimes you know they're slightly different here. So you notice, of course, things like the words here and some of the features. So you want to make sure the box packaging looks about the same. And then, of course, the information about the actual phone itself here. So, and then, of course, there's no plastic on this one. So you're going to have to pull these tabs open. And we're going to start by just ripping this tag off here. Okay, so that's the first tab, and this is Apple's commitment to make the phones a little bit more environment friendly. Not really sure what that film really does, but that's Apple for you. So as you can see here, I'm gonna go ahead and open the box up, and the Graphite Color here. Move this aside. First look of it in the box here, and then of course you can see those cameras just bulging out right there. And hopefully you can power this on. We're going to go ahead and power it on. And to power it on, you're going to hold the side button here on this side, that big side button as you just saw. And it looks like it's powering on. And that's the 5G band on the US edition of the phone. And as it powers on, you'll notice here it's loaded with iOS 15, which is the latest version of it. And hence why you see that animation. Of course, in the packaging here, you'll notice the cable only, and this is a USB-C cable. You need to actually use the ones that have adapter for USB-C. That's not the 5-watt one, it's the bigger one. And then of course the Apple stickers, label, and then the SIM ejector tray for your SIM card. So those are going to be the same. The content did not change at all from the previous generation. So here, as you can see here, the iPhone 12 Pro, again, same exact thing in terms of content. It's going to be the same thing. So the content wise, it didn't change here. Let's take a first look at the actual look of the comparison to give you guys that comparison of the phone. It doesn't really look to us that has done it. This is the gold edition of it, so the gold one. You notice the camera here right off the bat, how the cameras on the 13 Pro are just bulging out versus where on the 12 Pro it's more flat. And besides that, nothing else really changes in terms of the body perspective. You're comparing the bodies of these two phones. So that's the look of the body here. So we're gonna leave the 12 Pro on the side here and take a look at it. So as you can see here, we're at the main menu here. We're not gonna set this up, so we're gonna leave that aside here a little bit. And you're gonna be faced with this. You'll also notice the top notch here where it's smaller, so that's gonna be another thing you'll notice, where you have this huge notch or just smaller notch. So that's gonna be another thing. Of course, the iPhone 13 Pro was released on September 24th. It has that 6.1-inch display, those triple cameras that we see, 12 megapixel. A15 Bionic chip came out with this. So the 12 Pro had 14, again with the new generation updated chip, and it has 6 gig of RAM and a battery size of 3095 mAh. So those are going to be the noticeable thing. And the last thing about the screen here, it's going to be that it is a screen that is 120 hertz. So we're going to show you guys how that looks like compared to the 60 hertz on the iPhone 12 Pro here. So double the size in hertz, and that going to show in a little bit in terms. So if you haven't activated, this is going to be a quick activation. We're going to do a video, or we actually done a video where we show you guys the full length of setting this up. But essentially you want to connect to Wi-Fi or connect to your computer, and because you want to be able to have the phone talk to Apple server, so you can set it up here. And once we set it up to main screen, we'll be able to see it. So some of the noticeable probably difference between these two phones is probably that top notch, and that's about it. In terms of the weight of these two phones, the 13 feels a little bit heavier versus the one. That's probably because of those bigger camera that we see on the 13 Pro. So we're gonna hit continue here. So all of this is pretty straightforward. You can set this up here, which again is most of this self-explanatory, but we're not doing it here just because we've done an actual setup video. So make sure you guys follow that video where you want to make sure you're signed into your Apple account. Of course, you want to move things over, keep your phone up to date, use FaceTime, iTunes, the location services for everything, set up Siri, and all of this, dark versus light, and finally we are at the screen. So it's the same exact setup. Of course, all the default apps, it's not that you're going to get any default apps between these two phones. It's going to be the same thing. You're going to get those app library, those big iconic app widgets as well. All of those are going to be there as well. Here, as you can see here, when we open it up, design of the phone, the refresh rate here. So they'll show you guys 120 versus 60 refresh rate. So you'll see between this, it's on the 120, it's much more cleaner. So if we go over here, in terms of browsing, so that's about the refresh rate. But besides that, probably, of course, we have the other noticeable thing between the cameras, the cinematic mode. So you can choose your style here. We can do that later, but that cinematic mode that's available on the 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max here. So something we want to utilize and kind of do a video on it. Again, that's probably the biggest selling point of this phone, is that those cameras, because there is no cinematic mode, as you can see here, portrait mode only. So that cinematic mode is the only biggest feature that comes with the 13 Pro. Slightly better battery, of course, improvement in the battery life space. But there you have it for the unboxing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video for unboxing. We're going to probably unbox the other colors as well. Again, The link for the Sierra Blue is either going to be in the description section or in the one of the end slides. So make sure you guys check out the Sierra Blue, and we're going to do a comparison with the Sierra Blue as well, just so you guys have an idea of how that looks like as well. So thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.